friends that come and go.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Thank you and welcome to the Hopefulist. I thank you for listening, and I hope you are ready for your daily dose of inspiration and positivity. The quote of the day today comes from Denzel Washington. Some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. Basically, a lot of the times it has nothing to do with you. Or it does have something to do with you, and it's more about how they perceive you and the way that you live your life as compared to how they live theirs. We're going to get more into that in the blog post today. All right, it is day 1 down of the juice cleanse. That's right. I'm on day 2 now. I had my coffee cashew juice already, and I got to tell you, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The first part of the day yesterday was not great. I felt a little woozy, had a really bad headache, because I'm not really drinking. I'm not drinking coffee in addition to the juice cleanse. So I imagine I'm getting a headache from that. But there is coffee in the first juice of the day. So hopefully that helps somewhat. But I was feeling very kind of woozy and out of it for the first part of the day. And then I took a couple of naps. And then all of a sudden I woke up feeling okay. A little bit of a headache, I guess, to be expected. No caffeine, no food. So I made the mistake of jumping on the scale today thinking, ooh, hopefully I'll drop like 2 pounds. Yeah, nothing. Scale said the exact same thing as it said yesterday. But I'm not going to let it deter me. I'm going to keep up. I'm going to forge ahead and do this 3-day cleanse. So the biggest problem is what to eat after. How do I go about bringing things back in slowly and in a way that won't be unhealthy and bring the weight right back on too? I mean, I'm glad that I'm getting cleansed, but let's be honest. I'm looking forward to losing a few pounds. Come on. So I will keep you posted as to how things are going. So far, not as bad as I thought it would be. Of course, 1 day down, still got 2 more to go. I can do anything for 3 days, right? Just 2 days left. I had a little gathering with one of my book groups last night. Still not able to meet in the library where we typically meet. They have not opened up the group area. So we met at the pavilion last night while the sun was setting. Okay, that's all right with me. But, it's getting colder now. And we won't be able to be doing that for much longer. So we just had to get together real quick to go over the list of books we have available to us through the library, because this particular book group is, like me, very cheap, and we don't want to buy books. So we don't really read up and coming novels. We don't really read anything that's fairly new because they're very difficult to get a hold of. Which is okay. You know what? There's a lot of books out there. There is a lot of books out there. I'm at that point now where all of my library books are coming to me at the same time. I'm very backed up in my reading, which is good because I have set aside these 2 days to do nothing besides read and nap, because I was warned that I will have a lack of energy. and to not be too strenuous with my activities. So I will be reading, and I am okay with that. What else did I want to tell you? I wanted to tell you about the topic. You guys love food. You sure do love food. I wanted to know, do you prefer a baked or a mashed potato? Lots of people cheating. This is a either or question. And I got a lot of both. And I got a number of choices that were not either or. Jim says, I know you hate cheating by saying both, but for me it is mashed with meatloaf and baked with steak. Michael says twice baked and smoked. Okay, that was not a choice. Eve says depends on what they are accompanying. Roast, mashed with gravy. Steak, baked with butter and sour cream. Adele says mashed, no contest. Eleanor says mashed with gravy, but my favorite is mashed sweet potatoes with marshmallows. Mary says baked with steak, mashed with turkey. Marcy says mashed with cream cheese and a big hunk of butter. Never put cream cheese on mashed potatoes before. Might have to try that. John says twice baked potato. You get the best of both. Again, cheater. That was not one of the options. Joe says fried, oven baked, smoked is my new favorite. We just recently smoked some potatoes as well. Did have that smoky flavor for sure. Andy says garlic mashed. Not technically cheating. Linda says love potatoes. I say mashed, but would eat them anyway they are prepared. I agree with that. Kate says any and all potatoes. Larissa says if I had to choose, it would be mashed, but I really just love potatoes. I have to tell you, mashed, crushed it. I think if I take away the both and the other options and just count the people who did it properly and picked one or the other, it came out to about 82% mashed potatoes. But yeah, baked potatoes definitely have their place. I think that I'm going to have to talk about something other than food for tomorrow's topic because I don't want to think about food. I got another 2 days of fasting to go. The blog post for today, the friends who come and go. I can't tell you how many hours I have spent wondering what happened to friendships in my life. I say often that I was never prepared for the amount of friends I would lose throughout my lifetime. Some just drift apart. Sometimes there's a situation that happens to separate you. Sometimes a spouse has something to do with it. And other times you will never know what happened. As someone who has spent way too much time trying to save friendships that failed anyway, I can tell you sometimes it is not worth the heartache and headache. Maybe it's me. Maybe I am a bad friend. I'm not ruling that out. But I've always tried. There have been times I've reached out and bared my soul to save a friendship, and it still isn't the same. There are a few times that the loss of a friend has upset me so much, I would have done anything to have it back. There was one friend in particular who just started pulling away. At first, I responded in kind because I was upset. All right, you don't want to talk to me? I won't talk to you. I didn't understand why we talked all the time, and all of a sudden I never heard from her. Things went on strangely for some time before I realized if I wanted to save this friendship, I had to do something. I reached out. I asked if there was an issue, why we weren't as close as we used to be. She told me she was just busy. I felt blown off. I tried several times with this person, and it finally became clear she just didn't want to be my friend anymore. Why? I have no idea. She would never explain. It hurt. But there wasn't anything else I could do. Maybe it was more of an issue with her than it was with me. I've also sent out soul-bearing letters to people I had friendships with in the past to show how important they are to me. One particular instance, it worked. We reconnected. We started chatting via text. I would often ask if we could get together, but there was always a reason why we couldn't. When you seem to be the only one who tries to keep in touch, you have to start questioning whether you are important to this person. Maybe the other person doesn't think you have anything in common anymore. Maybe they don't like the way you live your life now. Maybe they are jealous of something you have in your life and can't even admit it to themselves. More times than not, you will never know for sure what really happened. If you have truly tried to no avail, then it is time to move on with your life. I think I get so stuck in the loss of friendships because I see it as a signal that there's something wrong with me. That I'm some sort of horrible person that nobody wants to be friends with. But I know that's not true. I have other friends, so I can't be that horrible. And the reason that person is pulled away may have nothing to do with me or you at all. It may be all their own issues. One thing I don't address very often is when you want to end a friendship. There are times when people just don't fit in your life anymore, and that's okay. Sometimes it can be tough to extract yourself from a situation, but don't put yourself in the company of people you don't want to be around. Did you ever have a friend who makes cutting remarks to you often under the guise of a joke? Yeah, I'm done with those people. I just don't need them in my life. I only want to be around people who are positive forces in this world, not people who love to bring others down and make them feel bad. It's okay to want to end a friendship of your own. If someone makes you feel bad about yourself, or you find yourself drained after spending time with them, maybe it's time to let that one go, or at least lessen the amount of time you spend with them. But always remember, you don't owe anyone anything. Friendships do take some work. You need to keep in touch. You need to make an effort to get together. You should be celebrating them when called for and taking part in their lives by going to their kids' birthday parties and milestones in their life, milestones in their kids' lives. It's what good friends do. But if you are the only one trying to keep in touch, it may be a signal that the friendship is one-sided. I've decided that if someone is trying to stay in touch with me or isn't trying to stay in touch with me at all, then they just aren't worth my time. There comes a point when I feel like I'm begging someone to be my friend, and that's not what I want. If I'm constantly reaching out and never get contacted in return, there may be a problem. At this point, I usually just step off the gas a little bit. If that person doesn't attempt to reach out to me, then I have my answer. If it's been a really important relationship in your life, then communicate your feelings and see what is happening. Hopefully you can salvage your friendship. But for me personally, at this point in my life, I am done chasing people. It can be tough to move on sometimes, but always do what is best for you. It's Thursday. By the way, football tonight. Nick Foles, Tom Brady going head to head, just like in Super Bowl 52. Should be fun. Can't wait to watch. You going to watch some football? Let me know. Now, go out there and be a badass. I'm right here cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.